Everybody, this is Blake here, and welcome to my review of Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. Shoot. There isn't a whole lot I could say about this. If you follow me on my website, you may have noticed that I was late in delivering my written review, and even then, what you got was more or less me goofing off. That's just because I cannot think of how to critique this movie, and I can just say that, yeah, I enjoyed it, but does that make it good? No. In fact, I think if you call Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters good, you're being too generous. But if you call it bad, I think you're being too harsh. Let me start off with saying I love the concept. I'm so thrilled that Hollywood is exploring these really bizarre ideas like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter and now Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. I love how they're taking a children's fairy tale and then turning it into a hard R action film, complete with gore, sex, nudity. It's crazy, and I find that to be hilarious, and I hope to see more of this kind of stuff. But if you think that's just incredibly stupid and you just think it's too silly for its own good, I don't think you're going to like this movie. In fact, I could really sum it up as that. If like me, you enjoy the premise, you should enjoy it. Because the movie is nothing but what it promises. It has non-stop action. That does not mean it's perfectly paced. The Last Stand, for example, it had a much stronger build-up, so I was never bored in that movie. Now in this movie, for like the first 2/3, it's just non-stop action, but when it does slow down, that's really noticeable. The movie just kind of stops dead in its tracks. It does ultimately pick up, and it is able to recapture the previous energy. A lot of movies, when they stop too quickly, they get just pretty much boring after that. But this one, I wasn't really bored, but I will say that there are times when it just stops too suddenly. It is incredibly predictable. Every twist that happens in this movie, you'll see coming a mile away. I could tell that a certain character would turn out to be a witch just from the trailers. And so naturally, it wasn't too difficult to find out where they were going with that in the actual movie. The characterizations are very thin, but at least the actors have a lot of room to have fun. Nobody slums it, which is refreshing because based on the trailers, I thought Jeremy Renner looked boring, and I hear what's her face that played the main villain? I don't know how to pronounce her name. Famke Janssen. She was in I think X-Men and Taken. But she said that she only did this to pretty much pay off her mortgage. But I thought everybody was having a blast in their roles. They help keep things energetic, and that's what this movie really needed. The action scenes move maybe a little bit too fast, so you can't always pick up on the details, but I also thought they were relatively exciting and well choreographed. They're filled to the brim with some hardcore gore, and that's, I think, what I love the most, and it has a sense of humor about itself too, but at the same time, it never descends into pure parody. The guy who directed this, he had previously done Dead Snow, which is a Nazi zombie film, and that's a lot of fun too, don't get me wrong, but I didn't like its self-depreciating sense of humor. To me, when you're a conventional movie and you're just poking fun at how conventional you are, that's not clever or witty, it's just kind of obnoxious and lazy. I cannot stand those stupid Funny Games movies for that reason. Seriously, it's just a conventional home invasion flick, and they just constantly remind you that it's conventional. That is it's more obnoxious than cute. And luckily, though, Hansel and Gretel, even though it's not taking itself very seriously, it's never making fun of itself too much. And I thought the humor mixed in well with the action, and it just kind of lightened things up. The special effects are really good, considering I expected to be just non-stop CGI, but there are also some really impressive practical effects here, and I thought they went together very well. They blended seamlessly together. That's very difficult to do because usually when you have both, one will dominate the other. If the practical effects stand out more, it'll make the CGI extensions seem phony, or much more phony in comparison, or you won't even be able to tell that there was once something made by hand there. Instead, you'll just see the CGI. I'm trying to think of a better way to describe that. Well, the Thing prequel, for example, originally they had actual practical effects built for it, but then they put the CGI extensions on, and you could never tell that there was actually at one point something that was handmade there. You just saw CGI. So it's refreshing that Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters actually combined practical and CG to, I think, the maximum effect. Anything else I could say? Oh, the 3D. This, in my opinion, is one of the best examples of 3D that I have ever seen. People either like the more gimmicky 3D or the more atmospheric 3D. I'm cool with either as long as it's properly utilized. This film is more about the gimmicky 3D. Shit is always flying at you from the screen, and I was constantly flinching. It has a lot of fun with the whole 3D gimmick, and I think in a lot of ways this might be the only film that I've seen where the 3D is better than the movie itself. So if you like that kind of 3D, I actually would say that it is worth checking out in 3D. Now, if you don't like that kind of 3D, if you think it's distracting, then don't bother. So that's really all I have to say. If you think watching it comes down to how you respond to the concept in general. If you think the idea of a fairy tale being turned into a hard R gore fest where Hansel and Gretel hunt witches, if you think that's sounds like a lot of fun, then definitely give this movie a look. If you don't think it sounds very interesting, then don't bother. If you're torn in the middle, I don't know, wait till it comes out on DVD. It's really up to you, and that's what's so difficult reviewing this. Is it does its job well, but if you don't like what it's aiming for, you're not going to enjoy this movie. So that is that. If you'd like to read my written review, please check the link in my description. Now for a special announcement. March is coming up, and it is the month of my birthday. Now, what I decided to do is every March I'd go ahead and review whatever the hell I felt like. Previously, I covered the Hellraiser franchise. That turned out to be a lot of fun, so I figure I'm going to go ahead and review another movie franchise that I either never completed, never watched to begin with, or just don't remember very well. And I'm torn as to what I want to review, so I figure I go ahead and leave it to you. If you go to the link in my description, you will see a website, and if you go to that website, I am holding a poll, as well as I explain a little bit about what these movies are about. And I give an option for 6 movies. These are all franchises that I really want to see at some point, and I don't care which one you choose, I just want something to be chosen for me. The options are Howling, Puppet Master, Children of the Corn, Best of the Best, American Ninja, and Kickboxer. So whatever franchise you'd like to see me cover, please vote. I'd be eternally grateful. Hopefully this review was enjoyable. Like I said, I couldn't think of a whole lot to say, and this announcement kind of came out a little cluttered. So that is that. Please go ahead and check me out on my website, and of course follow me on Twitter, and be sure to vote. So that is all. I'll see you guys later.